On tonight's tag team focused episode of NXT, we have a focused tag team here to break all of the action down with us. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
You know it's the
Something that will never reach the light of day. Thank you for joining us for tonight's episode of the AFTERBUZZ TV NXT After Show right here on AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm one of your hosts, and it's Mark B. Donica. As always, you can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. Joined next to me by Mr. Bill Hanstock, the one and only.
Holler at your boy!
He's the boy I'm hollering at. Yeah. OS, what up? Also, we are joined by the United Wrestling World Tag Team Champions.
Yes!
The Friendship Express.
Friendship Express!
Starting, of course, with the one true Hobo.
Oh, it's me. I'm the one true Hobo.
On Twitter, also at True Hobo.
On Twitter, but without a one.
No.
It's at True
Not
Hobo.
True
It's
Hobo
not one.
one.
It's
No.
not one True Hobo.
And joining us, a wonderful, wonderful friend of the show, Mr. Jarvis Cottonbelly.
Hello, my friends. It's a pleasure to see you all, and I love you very much.
He's at Gentleman Jarvis. Because he's very gentlemanly.
That's right. You can find me at Gentleman Jarvis.
How wild is Gentlemania running?
Well, I like to say it's treading lightly, but I'll tell you this.
Forgive me.
Recently, I performed a song. Do you want to tell you the song that was?
What was it?
Born to be Wild.
Wow.
Wow.
I know.
That's your influence on him.
I mean, who would have thought he'd be capable of it? I just sure didn't. Every time we get in front of like a microphone, he says something wilder and wilder, and I'm enjoying it tremendously.
Razzmatazz jazz and a little bit of sass.
And speaking of enjoying it, how did y'all enjoy tonight's episode of NXT? Pretty tag team focused, except for the women's match at the top of the show, but pretty solid show.
Yeah, there were almost 2 tag team matches.
Almost.
Yeah, almost.
very
Yeah,
close.
but the one at the end was probably better.
Well, the one at the end was 3 tag team matches.
Well, it was 3 stuck into 1. It was 3 falls.
Yes, but I thought it was a night of clean, crisp action.
I can agree. Yeah.
Crisp.
Too much fun, but we got a little bit seriousness off the top. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. This was a match that was pretty much about respect and where the two women were sort of. I mean, I guess this sort of determined ranking when it came to the women's championship. But Alexa Bliss, I was pulling for this entire match, despite her nasty streak. How did y'all want this match to go?
I don't know. Alexa seemed like she was in the driver's seat for a good chunk of this. She's vicious.
Yes.
She's just mean.
Oh, she made me faint twice during that match. Now, her ferocity is something I'd like to match someday, actually. So I suppose if I'm studying how to be fierce, I should practice by watching Alexa Bliss.
Do Alexa's glares and glowers make you break out into a cold sweat?
Ooh, her glower power is no match for my flower power.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you take anything from her offense into
Would you take her out for a nice steak dinner?
Oh, well, of course I would. But as far as taking something from her offense, now
How about them flipping knees?
What about that
When you
choke
do that?
STO?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too ungentlemanly. But I like the way she flips her head. And
You could whip your hair back and forth.
well, I don't have any hair.
All right,
Well,
I didn't think
you're-
that through.
Your mustache.
Should I just grow my mustache really long?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you can whip that back and forth.
Like an old elderly Japanese.
Yes,
some
Kung
sort of-
Fu Master.
Kung Fu
You
Master.
do know Jerv Fu. Yeah. What's up?
I think Alexa could have learned
Wait,
a
is
little
that
bit more
Jerv
from...
Jitsu?
Yes.
No.
I think Alexa could have spared to use a little bit more of a different offense. She couldn't quite get ahead of Bayley, but Bayley was fighting from below. It seemed this entire match couldn't quite get moving to the beat of her own drum.
Alexa was the counter wrestler. Bayley was trying to be highly offensive, but Alexa Bliss is as slippery as she has ever been. Being small, she's lightweight. She moves with ease, so it's hard to catch her to put her back down. You know what I mean?
Yes, the slipperier than an eel she looked, and also too, I think Bayley looked quite frustrated.
I think she's trying to get back on the right foot after her injury, and her last match with the Nia Jax didn't quite go as well as she wanted to, but all it took was the power of the Bailey to belly to put Alexa down for the count.
But getting there was like the hardest part.
Yeah.
It took her forever to grab her. She wanted to give it to her off of the top rope. Couldn't get that to work. Alexa is a smart counter wrestler. She understands size and weight and how it really works with an opponent who is stronger than you, and almost everybody is stronger than her. So she's great at being able to maneuver. And Bailey looked genuinely frustrated by the end of that match. When she was on that microphone, she looked both tired and frustrated.
Yeah, she got on the microphone after she won. She talking about how she kept getting knocked down, but despite how many times she gets back up, and it
The Chumbawamba offense.
yes.
I get knocked down.
But then, and then she got up again.
But I get up again.
That's the yes.
And
That is
we're
right.
never going to keep you down.
I like that tune. It's very inspiring. And to that point, Bailey is very inspiring because even though she's coming off an injury, and even though she seemed very frustrated, she persevered.
Agreed.
There's something monumental, or rather, something commendable about that.
I'm looking forward to the day that Alexa does get that win over Bailey. So it's gonna be hard earned and much deserved.
May I offer an idea? I think that she may get that win when she learns to lead with her experience and not her anger, because it seems like Miss Bliss is driven by rage, and I think she needs to be driven by her intelligence.
So
instead.
she's too emotional.
Well, a little too much Alex Riley in her performance.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is she the new White Lion? The White Lioness?
Yes.
Okay, that would.
The white
Hey.
lioness.
Say it to her face.
I would. I totally would.
Was
but
that what
You'd
Alex
have to
Riley
get
was
all the
called?
way down here.
The White Lion?
His
Yeah.
very last match, he was introduced as the White Lion.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
that name. Roar! I'm the big dog.
Once bitten, twice shy.
You're the yellow lion. Not as
The Golden Lion. The Golden
Okay,
Lion.
yeah, still a little cowardly though.
I mean,
Wait, him or you?
I am.
Oh.
I'm a bit of a coward.
You're the ginger lion.
Sure.
I'd say I'm more of a dandy than a coward, but
A dandelion?
He's a,
the dandelion.
he's a genuine dandelion.
I'm the dandelion.
it's pretty amazing.
That was very organic. High five, all right. High
Nice.
five.
Nice.
Yeah, one more.
All right.
Razzmatazz.
Nia Jax comes out to interrupt Bailey. They have a little bit of a stare down, and off mic decide to have one more match. And Nia Jax seemed really energetic about it.
Yas.
Yes, Nia. Yes, Nia Jax.
Yes.
She's like, I want to have one more match. She's like, okay. And then just
Sounds
left.
like a good time.
Yeah. Like, didn't even happen that. It was just.
You know, sometimes I think people forget that the reason that a grappler would enter to NXT or Monday Night Raw or whatever it is, it's because they like to compete.
Sure.
And I think that often goes underestimated when you see all these grapplers who try to put up a fight and say they don't want to have a match, because I think most of them do. And I think Nia Jax is a perfect example of that. She's there to, whoop some keister.
Who's she gotta be afraid of, though? She's got the absolute weight advantage on everybody. She's already beaten Bailey and beat her bad, like hurt her, like put her on the shelf for a bit. See,
stop it.
confidence is really on her side. She walks out, I'll fight you again, and I'll hurt you worse.
When do y'all want to see this next match between the two?
I'd like to see it sooner rather than later.
Well, what do we think is going to happen at Back to Brooklyn?
That's pretty funny. We don't have.
You're funny, even if you don't know
Thanks.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
it's always a laugh riot to give the name of the show
Yeah,
that's coming out.
back to Brooklyn.
Back to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
it. Is that literally what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought it was just Take Over Brooklyn 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, from whatever.
Yeah.
Wonderful. But I think this will be. I think Asuka will get involved in this, which will set up the stage for whatever happens at Brooklyn.
Like it won't finish? Like she's going to interrupt Asuka is?
It's going to be a stage setting match. They have to set up the stage.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
While
turn
they're
off,
fighting.
bring
they
back the
gotta
ghost
build
light.
the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While they're fighting.
Yeah.
They have to fight to see who can build the ring better.
Did you say a ghost match?
No, I said they have to take out the ghost light. It was a little theater
Ooh,
joke.
I got a bit
Ghost
frightened.
match.
Sorry, I apologize.
Ghost
No
match would be
ghosts.
good.
No, stop it! I'm going to
No.
faint.
No ghosts.
It's in promotion with
sorry.
Ghostbusters. But
You
yeah,
didn't, you didn't tell him about that amulet you got from that ghost in Australia, did you?
Hobo.
He knows about the amulet. He doesn't necessarily know where it came from.
I thought that amulet was from a nice field of amulet daisies.
It came from the house on Shadow Bridge Road.
Yeah, something like that. It came from the World War I memorial in Australia, and there was a ghost who gave it to me. So close.
We scratched the record and dun-dun-dun. It's perfect. We got a quick look after the match, but we got a look at TM61, which I suppose...
Just a look. Just a soupçon of TM61.
Just a little bit, just to remind us that they're round. But that was really it.
And also a team.
Yes.
Back to you.
We're a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather look at this team, which I'm doing right now.
I mean, we're kind of like them. Like, I'm the heavy, and he's kind of the floater.
I'm the dandy.
He's lighter. He's light in the loafers.
Razzmatazz.
Light in the boots.
Yes.
I've never seen an Australian dandy, so I suppose TM61
They're
has...
not as dandy.
Okay, fair play.
They're kind of rough around the edges. Comes from the outback sort of attitude and nature. These are a hard land working people. They're not as dandy. Not as dandy as, say, the British. British are quite dandy.
That I can
They could
combine.
never hold up to the Australians. The British never.
I prefer because when I go to England, the British are never telling me what's a knife and what isn't a knife.
True.
Yeah.
It's not a knife.
Also in the back...
This is a knife.
That's a belt.
It's not a knife.
That's
Dude,
a
if I
belt.
tried to cut my steak with that belt, we'd be in quite a pickle.
I had a steak off of the belt.
You could probably cut a pickle with it, though.
Could cut a what with it?
You could probably cut a pickle with it, though.
Have you tried?
Not a steak.
Have you tried using the belt to kill the doves for Dead Dove Tuesday?
They're too quick.
Dead Dove Tuesday? What's this now?
I have to
How he
eat
gets his protein. Yeah.
Jerv.
I've been inviting you over for Taco Tuesday for the past 3 weeks, and you've blown me off. Dead Dove Tuesday.
Sometimes he wraps one of the doves in a tortilla.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a peaceful animal, and you eat them.
But they're tasty.
Oh no.
It's Al
Sorry.
Pastor.
Let's move on.
Yes.
I would love to. Then in the back, we've got Kathy Kelly with Dash and Dawson giving a little bit of a premonition of what we're going to see later in the night for the 2 out of 3 Falls match for the Tag Team Championship. There is no doubt in their mind that they're going to beat American Alpha and retain the Tag Team
They
Championship.
should have just Clubber Langed this promo.
Yeah?
Prediction: pain.
If they didn't go like straight up reference
The best part of
Maybe.
this was Kathy looking so sad at the
at
end.
the end, yeah.
That was my least favorite part.
They just
Well-
left her in the dust.
She's pretty concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to be. Those guys they're mean.
And I'll say this, I wouldn't be smiling and giggling if the revival were around. They're very faint-worthy, too. What did I call them earlier? The beef dogs.
Beef dogs.
dogs.
Whoa.
100% all
The
beef.
big dog.
Yes, they're quite beefy.
They have their own natural casing.
Yeah, and they never do cardio.
Gives that snap.
When you bite into
I'm
it.
just really interested in this entire conversation.
I want a hot dog now.
I've heard they
some
also.
reason.
Can we have
I've heard
legs?
that they also these beef dogs. I heard that they also plump when you cook them.
Are they like constantly cooked? They're pretty plump.
They're plump. Well, their song says we get hard
That's
all
true.
day, all night.
Do you associate plump with hardness?
What?
What?
Plump?
Our next match.
Well,
Blake
girthy.
Blake, Jarvis,
No, please. No, just no.
please.
Keep it together, would you please? My
Yes.
partner is very sensitive. This sort of talk is not acceptable
He's
with
the one
Jarvis
talking about
Gunbelly here.
throwing beef dogs around.
Blake and Girthy! Oh! Oh, we're off the rails!
So we've got our next match.
There were never rails.
That was supposed to happen. It's like the old the Piper thing. Once you think you have the answers, I change the questions. We never had rails to begin with to go off of.
roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
And neither does WWE. That's why they
Yeah.
granted him his release. Blake and Murphy versus the Hype Pros. That was really dumb. For anybody who caught that. Never really happened.
Almost.
Almost.
It
started.
structure.
It's amazing. For as little time as they had, Blake and Murphy still couldn't get it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the match was almost on its way to ending because they were bickering so much. I thought Mojo was just going to clean their clocks and
Why not?
pin them, and then all of a sudden,
The man beast.
Ooh!
Rhino.
Yeah, Rhino came out of Goran.
Came out Agoran, he will go. Agoran, he will go. Hi-ho, the Dario.
Agoran, he will go.
Hi-ho the Rhino.
Hi-ho, the Rhino.
Yeah, there you go. The
That
Rhino.
sounds too much like Lion-O.
Now we're back on Lions. Son of a biscuit. All right. So yeah, Rhino's back.
Sweet.
Cool.
State Assemblyman Rhino.
Remember, everyone, vote for Rhino.
Vote for Rhino.
Vote Rhino.
Now, which state is he running in? I haven't heard of this.
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Well, I say Michigan could use a good leader too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
couldn't hurt.
I think they could use a good leader right below. They could use some better drinking water.
With the leaders comes the drinking
Oh, they just
water.
bring their own water with them.
Pretty much.
Tell me this: at which assembly would anyone say no to Rhino?
I sure wouldn't.
Depends
Not
on
after
what
that
color-
display.
If he shows up in tights, I think it would be a little bit more. It would be easier to not say no.
But he's
As opposed to
always
if he
got
showed
it
up in the
on
sun.
under the suit.
Yeah.
Under the suit, he's just ready to tear it off, wearing the singlet, got the boots on, ready to saw a man in half.
It's like the old Superman tease where you're just like, no.
He's
You
just
know, it's-
angrier.
It's going to be a hard lesson, though, when he learns in assembly that you can't gore all your problems.
You talk about beef dogs.
Yeah, like serious. That man's like two beef dogs taped together to make one big beef dog.
And talk about plump.
I mean, seriously.
The plumpest.
He's like a fridge.
Is
I someday aspire to be the shape that Rhino is. Just a perfect square. I keep
getting
working on it. I'm getting there.
Almost.
so like
But it's just like
the
yeah.
silhouette of a gummy bear, like just a straight rectangle.
I want you to say that to Rhino. You have the silhouette of a gummy bear.
I'll say it to Rhino. I don't give a good gosh darn. We get another look at Shinsuke versus Finn, and everybody on the roster seems to be just pretty stoked for a good fight, and we're pretty excited ourselves.
Totes stoked.
Totes my goats.
Totes my goats.
Totes my gores.
Ooh.
Totes my gore.
And we're back to Rhino. Andrea DeMarco is in the back with American Alpha. They're excited about the pace of a 2 out of 3 falls match because it allows them to fight a type of a match that they're the best at. The longer the match, the better they'll be. Supposedly, we'll find out when we talk about it because we haven't watched it yet. Next week.
When you look at the tail of the tape, these are two high-level athletes. They can go the distance. They probably have the best cardio of anybody on the roster because of their athletic background. I would say, looking at it, that yeah, they would probably have the decided advantage in a longer contest.
Sure. They've got the conditioning for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next week, Samoa Joe is going to return to Full Sail University, and we'll be able to see what the champ's been up to ever since the end, because we really haven't seen Joe around.
It's nice to be the champ.
He's
Everybody's
been,
got to come to you.
He's been buying more extravagant, longer sequined towels. Because he's the champ.
How do you dry your face on sequins without removing, like, part of your skin?
That's
show you.
Samoa Joseph.
Samoa Joseph.
Samoa Joseph, his skin is like sandstone.
See, I didn't know he had, like, shark skin.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's like Tombstone from the Spider-Man comics.
That's a good pull.
Ooh,
That's a good pull.
Ooh, he made me shudder there.
it's a scary dude.
We also try to catch up with Rhino in the back. Hey, just somebody shout out, "Hey, Rhino, why are you back?" And he just turns around,
He missed the free lunches.
gives a huff,
No,
keeps walking.
I'm running for office.
He's here to promote
How does
himself.
Ventura feel about that, I wonder?
Well, he can't hold a candle to what I accomplished in office in Minnesota.
Yeah. But Michigan and Minnesota are two different places. I mean, they both start with them,
You
but
know
they're
what?
not the same.
I think he's been doing rampant ballot box stuffing monsoon. Gonna call a ref on this guy.
Is it a conspiracy, Mr. Ventura?
Everything's a conspiracy.
What a silly question to ask.
We should have known.
The heart machine's been messing with the weather.
Yeah, that's right.
Affects voter turnout. You do the math, monsoon.
Now, I haven't heard this.
It's different. Politics in America are weird.
Do they wear curly white wigs?
Nope, sorry.
And
No
we
wigs
we
here.
also don't have the Whig Party
Oh!
Not anymore.
or the Tories or Labor.
Yeah, no labor.
What parties do you have?
I'll tell you what, though,
I don't want to open up that kind of.
we're not Brexiting anything.
No, I.
Yeah,
hope
because
not.
we already did that 240
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Boom!
We called it,
the
baby.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We called it.
USA! USA! USA!
Hope you all celebrated a happy and safe 4th of July.
I'm still celebrating.
We called it the Amexit.
If I may say so,
No?
Sir.
all I want you to know is that your parents over in England are just happy that you're happy.
Oh, that's so
That's
nice.
sweet. That's sweet. We're not, though. They can whatever.
USA!
USA! USA!
You
USA!
can't say it.
Yes, I am. I'm naturalized. you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all.
No, yeah.
Yes, I've been here long enough. I'm proud to be an American
Yeah,
citizen.
he earned it. We were just born with it.
Yeah,
That's
true.
right.
We were
Maybe
all-
it's
Which
Maybelline.
makes us better.
We're all Maybelline up in this piece. But speaking of America, American Alpha versus Dash and Dawson in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. This was a contest, fellas. I will say so. With Dash and Dawson just their well-known ground and pound, dirty offense, trying to keep Jason Jordan. They were attacking his leg, his ankle,
Yeah.
his knee for most of the match.
Well, it was
It
both of
didn't,
them.
it didn't seem to faze him, though.
Yeah, getting that tag when you're part. I mean, you guys can probably speak to this. Like, no matter what sort of damage you have taken within the course of a match, if you need to help your partner, is it just adrenaline that takes over?
I can tell you, it's,
Sure.
Because Mr. Hobo and I have both exchanged what you would call the hot tag. That's when you're trying to get in.
get
and
pretty hot.
You've got all your energy stored up, and you just want to help your partner, but he hasn't gotten close enough to tag. And then when he finally does, it's almost as if you've just eaten a star in Super Mario, and you're blinking and you're flashing and bleep 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 bleep, and then you just get in there and bang, smash, crash, boom, and it's like you have all this infinite amount of energy. But then it runs out, and pretty soon you're on the ground again. In my
I'm
case.
gonna make a serious request to all of our watchers, viewers, and listeners. Please do a dance remix of Jarvis's bleep 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 bleep.
Yeah, dance remix.
Beep, beep, beep,
Jarvis
beep,
got
beep,
And
Billy
give them
dance
the rainbow
remix.
lights.
That would be
Yes.
nice. I like that.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. That's definitely a gifable moment, as the kids say. It took a really long time to get to our first fall as well. Mm-hmm. What were some of y'all's favorite highlights from the first fall?
Other than the singlets.
Other than the singlets, those were lit pretty highly.
It all starts with the singlets.
True.
Most matches do.
Now, I really liked Mr. Gable's fancy footwork and his uber clean maneuvering in the ring. I thought he was quite mesmerizing.
You talk about his footwork quite a bit.
Oh, beautiful footwork. What I was actually surprised to see was when, early on in the going of this match, Jason Jordan comes in and Scott Dawson. And wouldn't you know it, Scott Dawson was able to hang with Jason Jordan there for a minute. Going hold for hold, they had a standoff, like a legitimate standoff. I'm really surprised he was able to hang with him.
And I am, in fact, I wasn't surprised because they are the two-time champions, but here's what I was surprised at. Not that he could go hold for hold, but that by the end of the match, American Alpha was almost more winded than the Revival. And I thought that was their claim to fame, was that they wouldn't be as winded, and cardio was their specialty and all such things. But it looked like the Revival was the better team at the end of this contest.
Tonight they were the American Betas.
Ooh, sick burn!
Wicked burn.
That's pretty good, Bill.
Yeah.
In hindsight, noticing that I think the fact that they kept it to be such a slower game, such a slower match, and American Alpha would have to get their energy up in order just to counter it. Like, it had them use a lot more energy a lot faster, as opposed to spreading it out and really fixing their pace. This was Dash and Dawson's pace the whole time.
Absolutely.
And this is now, I feel like, this is part of a great trilogy. It's more than a trilogy at this point, but all of the great 2 out of 3 classic matches that NXT has had. Cesaro Zayn Joe. Didn't Sasha and Bailey have one? And now this.
Well, at the live special, that was a Iron Man
Iron
match.
Woman match, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's important to keep in mind that 2 out of 3 falls matches are only used when a team is so evenly matched that they need more than one fall to actually affirm the victor.
And in the previous match, American Alpha and the Revival, they were really dead even. It did not seem that way this time around. It felt like American Alpha was fighting underneath for the majority. The Revival was really working hard, and you saw them in there. They were throwing everything they had at American Alpha. I mean, it was pretty brutal to start out. But there were those times when both members of American Alpha were able to get that hot tag and then simultaneously just come in and clean everything out. Just come in and clear house completely. But the Revival, being intelligent, knowing how to assert themselves, were able to take over. Just watching Gable completely fly to the outside of that low bridge rump. Holy smoly, that was scary.
Even jumping over Dash Wilder to try to just get him off of the apron.
Yeah.
And just totally, both of them just hitting the floor with such velocity.
It's
And then going for the German suplex, presumably, to the barricade. That was frightening.
Sometimes when you get down to it, you don't even care anymore. There's a logic and usually a game plan that comes with a 2 out of 3 falls match. Especially if you're underneath, you go, okay, if I take this fall, I can just get away and then we can regroup and then reassert ourselves. But nobody did that. The egos in this were so large. Both of these teams wanting to prove that they were, in fact, better. That they were going to put the other away. Yes. Nobody wanted to give in. Nobody wanted to give up. So they waited until the very end, and wouldn't you know, it was an ankle lock. And it just put Dash Wilder away. I would not want to be in that man's place.
Now, as far as we were talking about, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I get on a roll.
Yeah. As far as talking about eventually how the match ended up, do you think it's possible that the Revival got in American Alpha's heads a little bit? The fact that American Alpha worked so hard for so long to get to that top, and then their first title match basically dropping the titles, and then, mentally what that must be doing to them. And then also, at the same time, not only do you have Revival taking the titles away from them again and running them down, accusing them of being good hands and everything, but you also have Gargano and Ciampa making the claim, and then you have the Authors of Pain. Maybe that's all on American Alpha's mind.
Well, I say this. I think any time a team wins the tag team championships for the first time, they're put on the spot. And, their mettle is tested in terms of whether or not they're meant to be a team or whether or not they should try singles grappling.
So you guys know all about that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, we're experiencing that right now. And even on Sunday, we have our first true major test of teamwork. And I think after that, then we'll reassess whether or not we can continue as a team. Of course, if we win, we will. But I think it's important to know that every tag team is tested early in their career. And it is how they overcome those tests and how they persevere through to the next test that really is the measure of their team's, their team's value and worth.
We are really in the place of American Alpha right now. I mean, American Alpha's looking at the Authors of Pain, the Revival, and Ciampa and Gargano, and we've got the Primos, we've got the Pack 3, and then we've got, who's the third?
The Classic Connection.
Classic Connection. All three.
Wait, Pack 3 ended up winning that match the other day?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Against Thatcher and Gulak.
That's unfortunate.
Best of luck to you guys.
Yes. Well, I say that we've got our backs against the wall on Sunday.
My question, do you think any of those other 3 teams are as good of friends as the 2 of you are?
Well, Los Primos Rivera are brothers.
But they're cousins.
Yeah, brothers.
But all the same, they're blood.
That's right.
Yeah,
Blood.
relatives aren't allowed to be friends.
So Los
they
Primos Rivera are cousins. The Classic Connection travels up and down the roads together every weekend. And, Pack 3, they hang out down at the ice cream shop after school together. So they're also, and they're on the football team.
Yeah.
So I suppose they're all about as good of friends as us. But I think that what they lack that we have in spades is that we lift each other up. When things are going bad, we help bring each other back to the top. Whereas they tend to get angry at each other and do this and that.
Yeah, there's no blame. I would never place blame on Jarvis for anything going wrong, and I think quite the opposite. He would never place blame on me, even though I did get pinned a couple weeks ago. That was through the cheating of Buddy Royal.
But again, it's about how we answer these challenges that we're faced with that really matters. So we're going to face our challenge on Sunday with our chins up and our chest pointed to the sky, and our courage is going to be at maximum capacity because we believe in each other, and I think that's the most important thing for any tag team.
That's friendship, is believing in others.
It's friendship.
That's
indeed.
friendship.
There we are.
We're going to talk a little bit more about the Red Carpet Rumble near the end of the show. Let's just get to the end of this match. The time between the first, second, and third falls was very, very quick.
Yeah.
And the second fall came from a figure 4 onto Jason Jordan from Scott Dawson for a second submission fall.
And it was very
Yeah.
close to the first one.
Yes.
With both members of the team being locked in submissions, one was outside the ring and one was in. So that happened. American Alpha matched, and they did that to the Revival, and then the Revival did that to American Alpha. So again, very evenly matched.
Right. The pinfalls between Jason Jordan and Scott Dawson after that first ankle lock I really did not know what was going to happen. Seeing that many different pinfalls at that stage of the match, like both of them have got to be incredibly tired. All it takes is 1 second's error and a little bit slow on getting a shoulder up, and that's a fall. That's it. And American Alpha already had a single fall. They could have put it away right there if Scott Dawson wasn't on his A game.
Yeah.
But I'll be dipped if they weren't. They were just as on as they could possibly be.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And I think the most interesting part is both of the teams waited until the final moments of the match to try for their finisher, their tag team finisher. We almost saw Grand Amplitude, but that got interrupted. We almost saw the Shatter Machine, but that got interrupted. But it took a Shatter Machine on the apron, which was just terrifying. Just gross pain.
Dash Wilder is a hoss among hosses for taking his body to the limit like that.
Yeah.
And as we've talked about before, everything on the apron hurts 10 times more. Because
It's the hardest part of the ring.
It's just
Right?
steel.
No, it's absolute steel, and there's less padding.
and there's no give.
No, your body bends to the apron.
But that's often where you see teams who are so evenly matched take their big time finishing maneuvers because doing it in the center of the ring is not enough to win.
It's where the apron's where the rubber meets the road.
Pretty much.
That's a good
Or
way to
where
put
the
it.
car
I like
meets
that.
the brick wall.
Ooh,
No, I agree.
He meant carriage.
I thought.
Did he?
What happens to the
Just as
horses?
bad. Ooh, but that's what I'm thinking.
The motor carriage.
An automobile.
But that Shatter Machine on the apron gets Dash and Dawson the win. The Revival are still your NXT Tag Team Championships, and that's the end of the show.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. No.
Oh, the NXT
we do have a little bit news. We have a little bit of news.
News and gossip?
A little bit.
Snooze.
I mean, it's less gossip and more just straight up
News
news.
and gossip.
If you want to go
Like
ahead
news and gossip.
like news and gossip.
Like AfterBuzz news.
AfterBuzz TV news. There it is. Thank you. Good morning. So this past week on June 30th at the Winter Haven show, Hideo Itami returned to active duty on the NXT roster. Super excited to have him back on. He never got like a return video or anything. He just was like, oh hey, by the way, I'm gonna show up at the show tonight.
Why do you need a return video if you just end up kicking everybody in the face?
That's
Did
not even
anyone go to sleep at that show?
actually, I don't think so.
Who would go to sleep when Hideo Itami
I know,
returns?
he's too exciting.
So much action.
I might
action.
because I have a prone penchant for fainting. So.
You have
That's,
narcolepsy.
Yeah, a little bit too much action.
Excitable.
You have to remember to drink some tea before you go to the show.
That's a good point. Yes.
And something that isn't necessarily just NXT related, but a big announcement today from WWE is their partner, and just because I'm a big comic book fan, WWE is partnering with Boom Studios to create a new comic book series. The only bits of art that have been released are this one awesome portrait of John Cena and another one of the New Day in front of their time machine, which could mean anything.
Oh, I'm a time traveler.
Yeah, so could we expect you in the Boom Studios series?
Oh, well, I don't know. I suppose if I travel to some sort of reality where that. Oh my!
We should get our own series. I want somebody to do the Adventures of the Friendship Express.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I want.
We can make that happen.
Let's
Well, you know,
call Scott Lost to do the art for that.
I think, the Hobo and his band of merry transients down underneath the overpass are some of my best
Merry.
friends. We have a lot of adventures.
Yeah, I would read that.
And we're
all
going
the
to be
time.
venturing out to Ohio very soon for old wrestling. I mean, You can only imagine what that trip is going to be like.
Yeah, riding the rails.
Yep.
And of course,
We got to go rent a train.
people know Boom Studios as the people who made Here Comes the Boom, starring Kevin James.
That is not. That is not the case. They actually just came out with a wonderful Power Ranger series
Starring Kevin James.
starring Kevin James
Yeah.
as the Pink Ranger, Kimberly.
Never seen an
Paul
overweight
Blart,
Ranger.
Power Ranger.
Why not?
It's Blarton time.
I got all of us. So,
Got him.
we'll probably hear more from them, hopefully at Comic-Con. But the other piece of news from this week is Billie Kay debuted on SmackDown last week against Dana Brooke. Yeah. She had a match against Dana Brooke, lost
Hot
it.
dog.
But they made it clear, the announcers made it clear, that she is just someone from the Performance Center who is here to...
Just visiting.
That sucks.
But she was on SmackDown. She
ain't coming back, anybody!
Yeah, it wasn't like Morrow being like, now in no way consider her to be a part of
She isn't moving up. She's clearly not ready. Look at her in there.
It's like it's not like they didn't name her or anything, you know? It's like, oh, we got some local talent here. No, it was Billie Kay from NXT. Yeah.
At least she did get a name drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before we go, we're going to talk a little bit about the Red Carpet Rumble, which is the biggest show from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every year. This is the big show. I'll run down the matches pretty quick because two of them are actually pretty relevant to everybody who's an NXT fan or a fan of the upcoming Cruiserweight Classic. So we have a grudge match between Vermin's bad dude Tito and Hammerstone. Sir?
Jarvis, how do you feel about grudge matches? Have you ever had a grudge match with anyone?
No, I've never had to have a grudge match.
Have you ever had a grudge with anyone?
No, not really.
Your tie came undone.
Oh, my.
You got
He's
so
getting
flustered.
beefy.
Yeah.
Oh, I
He
think that must have been when I
plumped
was...
a bit.
Jarvis doesn't have grudge matches. He has smudge matches.
Oh.
When he does his laundry.
When he's like, you've got a little smudge on you, and then someone's like,
he
you
takes
want
that
to fight
shirt
me?
off and he gets a Tide stick and he just rubs it in like hell.
Oh, I figured it would be you take a used tea bag and put it onto their shirt so it makes a little
teabag.
smudge.
Oh.
Yes, that one too.
He's the first person to
That's-
smudge a white
that's
t-shirt.
Jarvis, have you been going around teabagging people?
Yes, I've been teabagging everyone lately. I say I'll take my tea bag and I'll put it right on your chest. Or maybe I'll put it on your stomach. Or maybe I'll put it on your collar. But wherever I put my tea bag, you'll regret it.
I don't think
Is that the
means
latest
what you
prank in
think
the
it
United
means.
Kingdom?
Yes, teabagging is, it's been running rampant.
Just youthful children teabagging elderly people in the streets.
I heard it started.
perish the thought.
I heard it started shortly after the Boston Teabag Party.
Oh, yes. Well, I suppose it was those ruffian patriot chaps in Boston who originally started teabagging us, and then, well, we're getting into
It's
a
a
whole thing now.
it's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's-
Just
the
all you have
history-
to do is you go on Google, you look at teabagging, image search, safe search off because sometimes
Yeah,
you
it
never
goes
know.
back
You never
all
know.
the way to the
Yeah,
Egyptians
safe
with
search-
the Egyptian death mask.
Safe Search is always trying to protect you from seeing dirty shirts.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
No, if you want to see a dirty shirt, just undo the safe search. That's almost so aside from the grudge match, we have Julius Coleman versus Eric Watts with Ty Matthews, friend of the show.
Coleman's pretty great. I
Coleman
like
is
that
pretty
kid.
great.
He's got some real skill in that ring.
Real razzmatazz.
I mean, thrilling,
Real smooth.
smooth indeed.
We have United Wrestling Network's four-way tag team title match
Who's in that?
between Los Primos Riveras, the Classic Connection, Pac 3, and the Friendship Express.
Oh, I like those guys.
They're pretty great.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the cut of their jib.
Oh, yes. They're quite ghibli.
They like the cut of yours, too.
Goodness. I hope I meet them someday. Next, we have an open door challenge between Joey Ryan from Vermin and Bull James.
Oh,
Bull has made it to the West Coast. What? Well, he lives on the
he's the
East Coast.
East Coast staple. He's
Exactly.
breaking ground in the West Coast.
That's a good.
Now,
kind of phrase.
is the open door challenge like a cage match where you have to get through that open door first?
No, it's they have to fight to get into the cage. So you have to get through the open door into the cage.
And then you get
Yeah.
you get into the someone gets through the door and then someone else goes, hold the door.
Yeah, that's
Hold
yeah.
the door.
It's like a reverse.
And then everybody cries.
You can't watch Game of Thrones? You must be kidding me. How do you? They're naked women.
But it's English. It's It takes place
It's
in
cultural.
It
Oh,
takes
it's
place in
historical.
England. Yeah,
If it's historical, then it's okay.
it's the story of his homeland.
No, all right.
Yes.
That makes
Are you
sense.
from Westeros?
England.
Well,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yes. Well, I'm.
It's what it used to be called. Yeah.
I thought so. Yes.
Yeah.
But no, Game of Thrones does make me faint a lot.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
an AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
I've heard that a friend of yours makes you special edits of Game of Thrones that takes all the violence and the
Yes.
nudity out.
Yes,
And
indeed.
it's a trim 2 to 3 minutes per episode.
Like
for him.
child-friendly versions
Yeah,
of Game
yeah.
of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's just the political scenes and the conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
The best
Sesame
part.
Street did a Game of Thrones. They call it Game of Chairs. I am not making that up.
Wait, what is?
Sesame Street made a Game of
yeah.
Thrones called Game of Chairs.
Yes.
It was real.
Next couple of matches, we have main event James Morgan versus Bateman for the United Television Championship.
Yep.
And then, so for you fans of the CWC, it will be a match to. I mean, I think everybody should be looking forward to this match, and that's Drew Gulak versus Timothy Thatcher.
Yes.
And I can't imagine the sort of clinic that they're going to be putting on in that ring.
They were tag team champions themselves with these, the predecessor,
The
to
predecessor
these
to
belts.
the Heritage Tag Team Champions.
They're going to tear each other apart.
Yes, indeed. And you know, Hobo and I have been training together extra hard lately because all good tag teams, they train together always.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Mr. Gulak and Mr. Thatcher have spent enough years training together that they're going to match each other hold for hold. It'll be quite a chess match.
Yeah. Do you think they ran on the beach like we have?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if they celebrate it in the ocean splashing around either.
Oh.
While Survivor plays.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have a cover of that song. It's called Roar of the Big Dog.
Yeah.
Roar of the Beef Dog.
Oh, beefy.
my.
I'm not beefy enough to be a beef dog, but you're
pretty beefy.
I'm a big dog.
Turkey dog.
He's a big nose.
He's a slender dog.
Turkey dog.
Slender dog.
Am I a turkey? Is that what you call me?
No, I said you're not thinking enough to be a beef dog. What about a turkey dog? It's a little bit leaner.
I thought you said, is he a turkey dough? Like those.
He's- She called you turkey.
I'm saying, I
That's
thought
what I'm saying.
I thought a
Hey,
turkey was.
hey, you watch it there.
I'm not trying to insult your tag
Now.
team partner, Hobo.
That's right.
I
No,
am
sir.
pretty
Better
jive
not,
after
you know.
all.
Yeah.
Jive.
It's that all that razzmatazz. We then have the red carpet rumble match, which guarantees a championship opportunity for the Hollywood Heritage Championship, and the main event of the night being Scorpio Sky versus Pretty Peter Avalon. So if you're in Port Hueneme or not, you should be in Port Hueneme this coming Sunday for the red carpet rumble.
Yeah.
Heck of a show.
The Rumble itself, I've seen the list of names that are going to be in the Rumble.
Really?
Yeah, I have.
yes.
And
Is
you
it-
should see it.
Are there any?
Give us a scoop.
Nope.
Scoops.
Nope.
Scoops
But I
the
can
Be
tell,
hobo.
there.
I'll tell you this: Devin Sparks, who's big in Japan, he won the final entry into the match just a few weeks
And
ago.
here's the number 30 spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's going to be the favorite, I think, because anyone who enters.
And the number one spot, Roman Reigns.
Woof, woof, the big
I mean,
dog.
he's not doing anything.
No, he's not.
he's
We'll
free.
take him.
Yeah.
This is California. Everybody's got a card. You can come and party with us.
Jarvis, do me a favor. Do the Roman Reigns yell.
Big dog.
I'm a little scared.
Perfect.
I'm just really happy I'm on this side of the table because I'm like, oh goodness.
Hey,
Sit back, big dog.
you big meanie.
That's what happens when you call somebody a turkey.
It's good. Yes. Sorry, see what happens.
Someone has to gif him making that gesture over and over.
Please don't. So regardless, if you're familiar with a Rumble style match, anything can happen. Anybody can show up. Port Hueneme this Sunday,
Probably
July
some
10th.
any number of doinks.
Yes.
Yes.
Dink, doink, donk, and redonk.
That's redonk.
And I'm sorry, but
And badonkadonk.
Yes. Oh, I missed one, yeah.
what's a badonkadonk?
It's a kind of car.
Ooh.
It's when you have refuse in your boot.
Well, then I suppose you could back your badonkadonk up into my driveway any day of the week. Now, I was going to say I was going to keep a lid on it until Sunday, but you let a bit of the big dog out today.
Okay.
My apologies.
So I'm going to need to bottle that back up.
If you want to see more of the big dog and more Friendship Express, definitely head out to the Red Carpet Rumble. It's one of the most fun wrestling events you can go to, and I'm not just saying that because they're here and can beat me up. So, is any other thoughts about NXT and where we're going to be heading towards for the Brooklyn show at the end of the summer?
American Alpha now free to fight whoever the heck they want, and they've got a pretty wide berth of people who want to take them out.
And forgive the pun, but the revival of tag team wrestling in NXT has been extremely refreshing. So I cannot wait to see who's competing for those titles at the end of the summer.
And, you know, it's so hard, it's so difficult to say what the heck is going to happen at the Brooklyn show, because in 2 weeks we're getting a roster split and a draft.
True. It's true.
And this NXT roster could and probably will look very different by the time
Brooklyn might be the last opportunity for a lot of people to wrestle for NXT.
But you know, there might be some room opening up for two best friends to show up there.
Hey, the Dusty Classic is coming up near the end of the year. That's the next show after TakeOver Brooklyn.
I suppose we'll have to start pinning some letters then.
Yeah. I'll write a couple of people.
Hey, I'm sure all the folks are a fan of nice penmanship, so if you send them a nicely worded letter with
and
a
you'll tie
wonderful
them to
wax
the live
stamp,
doves.
Yep.
but when they come back,
Live
they'll have
doves.
done their job. And
Right. No, they're carrier doves.
Yeah.
Oh, the doves I keep on my roof.
Airmail Wednesday.
Wait a minute, you know about my dove collection?
Not if any of them have gone missing.
you don't keep account of them, is what you're
I
saying.
do keep count of them, and I've been wondering why they haven't come home.
It's
gotta be a coincidence.
Let's wrap up the show.
Hey, you know what?
Hey.
I think that'll do it for this week's episode of NXT, the NXT After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. But until
Get
next
you more.
time,
We'll get a win on Sunday, and I'll get you more. I promise I'll get you more. I'm just hungry. I need a snack.
Frankie,
where can
Peter.
I'm sorry about your doves,
Little
Jerv.
finger.
But here, something to keep your mind off of that. Where can the folks talk to you on social media until Sunday at the Red Carpet Rumble?
Gentleman Jarvis on Twitter. My doves!
Well, send your best wishes to Jarvis.
Hobo ate my doves!
Only ate a
Not
couple.
all of them. Not all of
A
them.
couple. Buy his shirts. ProWrestlingTees.com/ I think Gentleman Jarvis. Think you're Jarvis Scott and Billy. You can follow me at True Hobo on Twitter, and download Fight TV so you can watch championship wrestling from Hollywood and watch us defend our championships when I get them to come too, and more apologizing.
Use some smelling salts on them, would you?
I don't have
Yeah,
any.
we'll figure out a way. Just use your armpit. It'll probably be the best way.
Yeah.
But until
Yeah, there it is.
Ah!
Does the trick every time.
Oh,
There it is.
where am I?
he's back with us.
You're in the studio.
Hello, chaps.
Bill.
Hey, you can follow me on Twitter at Sundown Motel. Check out all of our coverage at uprocks.com/sports and withspandex.com. And that's pretty much all that's going on.
Thank you, Bill. I'm Mark B. Donica. You find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica. If you're a fan of Rooster Teeth, Red versus Blue, any sort of that stuff, just came back from the Rooster Teeth Expo over the weekend. We did a whole bunch of interviews. Check them out. They're on AfterBuzzTV.com. Follow me because I'm going to keep tweeting them out because they're absolutely hilarious. A lot of gaseous activity. But yes, we got a lot happening at the studio, so make sure to follow everybody here at AfterBuzz TV. Our sister site, The Popcorn Talk, Black Hollywood Live, Book Circle Online. Find us on iTunes. Leave us a review. Leave us a comment down below. But
Buy our shirts.
Buy our shirts at I was going to say Pro Wrestling Tees. That's not true.
Yeah, no, not
Spread
there.
at nxteam.spreadshirt.com. We got a lot of great stuff up there, including
Stay
our new
tuned for
shirts.
the Plump Dog shirt.
Plump Dog shirts
Plump
are
Dog!
coming soon. But until next week, we will see you at the Cruiserweight Series. Why
At
not?
the movie.
Red Carpet
movies,
Rumble.
Red Carpet Rumble.
I'll see you in my dreams. I love you all.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Plump you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.